Yo, yo, yo. Help a brother out. Give me the HBO special and subscribe. And good evening, everyone. Tonight we're going to take a journey through time that charts the rise of the American industrial machine, the fall of the gold standard, and the evolution of the U.S. into a globalized consumer-driven economy. Part 1, the industrial age, the foundation. In the late 19th and early 20th century, America was an industrial powerhouse. Factories roared, railroads crisscrossed the continent, and innovation was everywhere. From steel in Pittsburgh to automobiles in Detroit, the nation was producing goods at an unprecedented rate. This was the age of Andrew Carnegie, Henry Ford, and John D. Rockefeller. Capital was invested in infrastructure, technology, and labor, and the economy, it was tangible. We made things, we built things, we exported things. At the core of this economy was confidence backed by real assets. That included America's money, which until 1971 was tied directly to gold. Part 2, gold-backed money, stability, and control. For decades, the U.S. dollar was backed by gold. This meant every dollar in circulation could, in theory, be exchanged for a fixed amount of the precious metal. It was a system designed to instill trust, limit inflation, and enforce a fiscal discipline. Under the Bretton Woods Agreement after World War II, the dollar became the world's reserve currency, anchored to gold while other currencies were pegged to the dollar. America's industrial might gave the dollar global dominance. But as the U.S. took on more global responsibilities and more debt, the system began to strain. Part 3, the shift, Vietnam, debt, and the end of gold. In the 1960s, brought massive government spending on the Vietnam War, on social programs like the Great Society, and on Cold War initiatives. But taxes didn't keep up. Instead, America borrowed and printed more money. By the late 60s, foreign nations holding U.S. dollars began to demand gold in exchange. Gold reserves were shrinking. So in 1971, Richard Nixon took a bold step. He closed the gold window. The dollar would no longer be convertible to gold. Just like that, the world moved to fiat currency, money backed not by metal, but by trust in the government. It was the dawn of a new financial age. Section 4, the rise of consumerism, made in America to brought from abroad. With money now untethered from gold, credit exploded, interest rates could be manipulated, borrowing became easy, and Americans flush with credit cards and access to loans became consumers on a scale the world has never seen. The 1980s and 1990s ushered in a revolution. Manufacturing jobs began to decline. Corporations discovered it was cheaper to outsource production to countries with lower labor costs. From NAFTA to China's interest into World Trade Organization, globalization was in full swing. We no longer made as much, but we bought more than ever. Big box stores like Walmart and Target thrived. The service economy replaced the factory floors. The service economy replaced the factory floors. America's economy shifted from production to consumption. Globalization, profits, debt, and dependence. As supply chains stretched across the globe, profits soared for multinational corporations, but the American worker wages stagnated. Communities once centered around manufacturing collapsed, and the trade deficit ballooned. America became the world's biggest importer. We consumed goods made abroad, paid for with borrowed money, and exported debt in return. Meanwhile, Wall Street boom, financialization, the process of making money from money, replaced industrial growth as the primary driver of wealth. where we stand today. Today we live in the legacy of these decisions. The U.S. dollar is still the world's reserve currency, but now it's backed by military might, global trust, economic inertia, not gold. The economy is built on consumption. 70% of the U.S. GDP comes from consumer spending. We shop, we spend, we swipe, and behind every purchase is a global system, moving parts, money, data at lightning speed. We came a long way from the smokestacks of the industrial age, from gold to fiat, from factories to finance, from local to global. America's economy transformation tells a story of innovation, ambition, and unintended consequences. The question now is, what comes next? Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button.